Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 3, Episode 16, Paradise Lost. I think this was actually a really cool episode for um, what we might see in the future of this new version of Ward. I believe they gave the actual character a name as just this new, this creature. But we got some new backstory about how humans and Inhumans teamed up to get rid of the very first Inhuman. We find out that this creature, this sort of leech, is actually the very first Inhuman, and I believe it's called Hive. I saw that through subtitles. It's called like either the Hive or it's just called Hive. Um, but I loved it. I think we got some cool information as far as this creature. We got to see a really cool aspect of it where it remembers everything from every single person, and it not only does it have the memories of each person that it takes over, it seems to have their emotions as well, and we get a great backstory for Malick's character. And of course, I thought he was going to die in this one because that was the whole thing. We finally got to see his vision and the way his face looked and stuff like that. He felt like it was him being um, I think he said being crushed or torn apart. It was one or the other, but obviously he knew it was connected to what he'd seen, and poof, he ends up as like a red skeleton. So I love the way they played with that idea, and we kind of get the introduction to the memory stuff, and he's like, do you remember everything, from all of your past lives, or is it just the body that you're currently in? And it was a nice little tease the way they were doing it. Like, it started off, it was pretty simple, and I'm like, I'm assuming he remembers. And we have the backstory cutting back and forth. We get Whitehall in this episode, which I thought was actually pretty cool. And so we have Malick and his brother, and it starts off, father died. They have to figure out where they're gonna go as one of the heads of Hydra, as a team, and it's either join Whitehall or kind of continue um, the ritual that their family upheld. And they continue to do the ritual, and we find out as the episode goes on, Malick was a total a-hole because he didn't really give a crap. He was scared, like his father. And the way they did it, I thought was actually perfect because it was pretty obvious. It was like, okay, never heard about this brother. They're doing the story, and they have, as it cuts back and forth, it's like, oh, do you remember certain things? And then they come back to the brother and them talking about, oh, I found the fake stone and stuff. And I'm like, okay. Even early on, even before that, I was like, well, clearly his brother ended up being chosen. And as it goes on, finding out why that mattered was really the best part, because it was fairly obvious. Like, his brother died. His brother was the one who was chosen for the ritual, and that sucked. And somehow Malick was either just a crappy brother at the end, or as we find out, it was like really his fault. At least technically it was, because he put the stone in, and it was by choice, because he literally had the decision to either choose the stone and be the one who was chosen, or let his brother be chosen, because it was just the way it was going to be. And I just like the way that played out. And his brother's like, I thought we had a deal, because of course he felt the stone. It's like, holy crap. So I love that. I just love the way it played out ultimately at the end. And there's a lot of weird, there's still a lot of mystery as far as, once we figure out, which was probably easy before they told us, once we figure out that his brother died, and then it's a little, it's not 100%, but they gave some fairly clear notions, because, and I'm still just going to call him Ward. Ward was being really creepy in this episode, so it's like, I'm pretty sure he does have the memories from every single one. And, when that happens, it's like, how's this going to play out? Like, I'm assuming, based on everything he's doing, he's kind of recruiting the daughter, and he's going to, kill Malick, because that's, part of the vision. And it seemed like that's what was going to take place. And it doesn't. And he actually ends up, because he's like, there has to be, basically penance for what happened. You kind of betrayed me, and, he's speaking kind of for himself. He's not like, you betrayed your brother. It's like, you betrayed me. And I love that as well, because that's where it really showed that he has the actual emotions, and he calls him brother and stuff like that. And I really loved it. I thought that was very good. And it's like, there has to be something to set this right. and he actually kills Malick's daughter, which I did not expect, but that was a great ending. That was a great way to do that. Sucks that she died. I thought she was going to be, more important, but that's a fairly big role. I mean, you kill off basically, you have our two main villains, and Malick was kind of the main villain. Obviously, he's kind of the sub villain at this point, but you have the former main villain's daughter, and she gets killed off. That's a huge catalyst for whatever he's going to do, because of course there's the threat of his own life, and at one point the life of his daughter as well, because if he did something wrong, kind of like he did in the past, it could result in his daughter being hurt. But now that she's gone, it's kind of that situation where it's like you drive a character really far, and it's like they'll do anything to protect this person, and then ultimately once you kill them, your card is gone. There is no more torture. You've done it, and they're kind of destroyed for a bit. But once they kind of come back, they bounce back from that, they're gonna do whatever they want to do because you have nothing to hold over them now. And so it's kind of that question as, is he gonna turn on Ward, or is he gonna actually stay with him and, try to figure out what to do? So looking forward to how that's supposed to play out. Some of the other stuff that we got in this episode is pretty cool too. We got to learn a bit about Lincoln and how he was kind of a crappy person in the past. He was a drunk, and he got like crazy arguments, and he was a drunk driver, and he almost killed his girlfriend. And then once that happened, that's how he got to Afterlife, and everything kind of changed for him. And I think the weird thing, they may have mentioned it before, but I don't believe they did. But we don't really know who his girlfriend is. So we might get introduced to her later on if she has powers, and maybe she was, not at Afterlife during all the madness of the last season. Maybe we'll get to meet her probably in the next season, because they've already got all sorts of craziness going on now. So maybe that's kind of something that they'll introduce, and maybe she's fine with everything that happened. It seemed like it was fine because he didn't say it ended or they just like tried to kill each other or anything crazy like that. But I liked it. I thought that was pretty cool. It's like we got the little bit of backstory, and it seemed simple enough. It wasn't that big of a deal. Just it seems like something that could come up in the future of the series if she kind of really comes into play. Um, excuse me. As far as Lincoln and Daisy's relationship, he told the truth, and it's like, hey, this happened, and then she told him about the vision where someone dies on the ship, and right as that's happening, we have probably the best ending we could have, because I can't wait for this next episode. But basically, every single person on the team gets captured. We have, I want to say his name is like Guerra. He gets captured, but somehow, apparently telekinesis doesn't really get blocked like every other power, because he doesn't control anything on the inside, but he's still able to grab stuff from outside, the little room that he's stuck in. So I thought that was very interesting, and it kind of shows a flaw in the structure of the room, because it's meant to be like, oh, you can't run out of this no matter how many times you hit it. You can't teleport out of it. You can't melt it down and stuff like that with the first guy. So the fact that his telekinesis is kind of just like, I guess, visual, and it's still mentally, because obviously telekinesis, it's mind. So even with him being inside that box, he was able to take the buckle, or to take the, I guess, the actual buckle part of the the seatbelt, and kind of prop the door open. I thought that was very interesting. I was like, that, it's a huge flaw, or his powers are just insanely amazing. Like he's gonna turn into the Phoenix or something nuts like that. But I'm assuming that was just like a pretty interesting flaw where it can't block mind-based powers. It can only block physical powers, which they may have thought it could block, telekinesis and stuff like that, which is obviously the point of the room. It blocks all powers, but they find out in this episode that that's not necessarily the case, and I just thought that was really cool. It's like, okay, that's a bit of a flaw, and unfortunately, it leads to kind of ultimately a really insane moment where everyone's captured, and so now we have our kind of superhuman squad, or super inhuman squad, really coming in. I totally forgot the Secret Warriors. That's what it is, because I'm like, I know they have an actual name, and that name is straight from the comics. For anyone who hasn't read the comics, like all that stuff they're doing, all the all the characters that are going to be part of the Secret Warriors or are already a part, like Yo-Yo, they are all from the comics and everything. So they're doing some really cool stuff, and that's why it's like a really big deal. It's like, oh, it's Agents of Shield, Secret Warriors and stuff like that. So I am really looking forward to this next episode, and I'm assuming everything's gonna go fine. I don't think we're gonna lose a character until the very end of the season. But if they wanted to do something really crazy, then maybe, just slight possibility, Yo-Yo could die, and whoever is with her, during that scene is the one that has her necklace, and then that person dies as well. Although, I like to think they aren't going to kill off two characters, within. I think, I'm not sure how many episodes we have left, but it would be very close together, and it's just like, boom, and plus, they'd be Secret Warriors, so, we already lost two characters in Bobby and Hunter, even though they're getting a spinoff, but I don't think they do that, but I guess we don't know. Someone's clearly dying at the end, but I doubt they kind of double up on that. It's like, nope, two Secret Warriors get killed off, and also that would, basically, if it's two of the Secret Warriors, that would eliminate the Secret Warriors. There's only four of them right now anyway, so kind of got to be careful about that just a little bit. They do have to be careful with that, and I don't think they'll double up, but I'm very excited for this next episode. I have no idea what to think about Malick and Ward and their team up slash kind of fall apart, because there's going to be something. As much as he might fear Ward at this point, Malick is going to turn on him. I feel like that's really his only course of action as a character. He'll still be the villain, but he'll take out, you know, the main villain, or at least he'll try to. I mean, that vision, as we saw, those visions do not change, and they might do something where somehow someone's able to change him. I don't know, but as far as they've truly established for literally that entire hour of the last episode, they cannot change the future. Based on, at least not the future that that guy saw. That is absolute. No matter what choice they make, that's the future, that comes. So Malick is gonna die at some point. Someone's gonna die in that ship unless some really crazy stuff happens, and we'll just have to wait and see if that takes place. But I'm really excited for the Secret Warriors coming in. I really want to see Yo-Yo use her powers. I love super speed personally. It's like my second favorite superpower, and hers is very interesting. Where she gets tethered back to wherever she is. So really looking forward to seeing that, and how they basically save the whole team. We have a quartet of superheroes, and I'm excited to see what they do, because they're going in to save everyone. There's like, we call this one person, they can't call May or Coulson. There's no one other person that they can call. It's only the Secret Warriors. So I'm super excited for this next episode, because every person fighting, at least for a little bit, because I'm assuming one person's going to break out, probably on their own, and it would most likely be May, I would assume, and not, of course, because it's May, I'm just assuming. But it should be a pretty fun episode, but I certainly love this one. Definitely the Malick Ward stuff is the best part of this episode. I think it went really well. Definitely surprised me with him killing off his daughter, and him, not just having the memories, but like I said, having the actual emotions and kind of living on as that person and knowing exactly how he felt in his final moments, and even before that, before he even went to that far off planet, knowing all those things and having those emotions and being that character. I just love that. Like that, I think that whole storyline was definitely the best part of this episode. It was clearly the point. So fortunately, the main story of the episode definitely went over very well. But of course, I want to know what you guys thought about it. So please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts, and of course, with our Secret Warriors coming in, there's going to be a lot of superpowers used, and there's going to be basically, the whole mission is to rescue literally the entire team. So I definitely want to know what you guys think is going to come out of this next episode. Will we lose someone, whether good or bad? Maybe they'll actually end up killing like Gira or something like that. Maybe that's how Malick dies, is in this next episode. Although, if it's not, holy crap, I actually just thought about this. I think possibly, if they do it this way, Malick's death could come at the end. It could come after the death on the ship, and whoever died there, that kind of drives Daisy to kill him because he was bleeding, and that is something that happens when you have like sonic waves shooting at you. You'll bleed from your ears and your eyes because it's like exploding vessels in your body. So maybe Daisy's the one that actually kills Malick, and it makes sense because it wouldn't be that slow kill. If it was where he would be disintegrating, he wouldn't be like bleeding and stuff. Like really simple, they like get disintegrated in a weird sense. So maybe it's Daisy that did it, and maybe his death comes after whoever dies as a part of Shield. That just popped into my head, so just wanted to throw that one out there since it literally just popped into my head as far as who could live and who could die. But definitely want to know what you guys think will happen in this episode, whether it's a death or no death, or just a fun, superpowered episode, which I'm pretty sure it will be. But either way, I definitely want to know what you guys thought about this episode, so please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.